Login accepted.
All right, I guess we'll get started now. So first of all, who am I? My name is Ryan, also go by Tired Person. I'm Director of Comps, and I'm also very tired right now, so don't expect too much energy. Right now it's 11:18 and what we're doing. We're going over King of the Hill stuff. So if you guys haven't signed up already, please sign up for King of the Hill. Signups will close on the 28th. Also, the competition's been moved to November 30th, in case you guys didn't know that. I believe we're going to be having it in person, right, Raymond? Yeah, so it'll be hybrid in person and remote. Depends on what you want to do. So please feel free to come by. So table of contents. We're going to be going over how King of the Hill works and the resources you guys can use to practice for King of the Hill. So what is King of the Hill? King of the Hill is a penetration testing and a defense competition. I mean, you don't technically have to defend, but it's highly suggested that you do so. So the point of King of the Hill is that you attack various machines and then you plant your flag in a text file. This text or the score engine will look in this text file and reward you points, assuming that it is your flag. The longer you store your flags in the text file, the more points you get. It's the same thing as any other King of the Hill competition or game. Infrastructure-wise, everything was going to be hosted on AWS. So your Kali machines, all your machines are going to be attacking. They're all going to be on AWS. So you guys have more resources and freedom to actually do various attacks. So you guys are going to be given a Kali machine, and then you guys are going to be hacking Active Directory, Linux machines, and then a score engine, which is out of scope. The day before your competition, you guys are going to be getting a briefing packet. This briefing packet is going to give you specific IP addresses, login credentials, and maybe other useful information. We have not decided yet. Another thing you'll get is a unique flag and a team number. So the flag is what you're going to be pasting into the text files of each place. The team number, I mean, it's just team number. So we haven't really thought about the team logistics wise, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to have multiple teams on Discord on different team channel or not. I don't know. The rules, very important. Do not go out of scope from the briefing packet. If you go out of scope from the briefing packet, at the very least, you will get disqualified, or at the very worst, you may get legal actions because this is an AWS environment. So if you go out of scope, you may be attacking other actual machines that are not part of the competition. And if you do so, we may get sued, and all that's going to go on you. So do not go out of scope. Another thing is do not grief the environment. So don't delete the file system. Don't disconnect don't disconnect it from the network. No removing system 32, nothing like that. Please, just for our sanity's sake. Another thing is do not attack other Kali machines. By default, they should not be vulnerable, but in the case that you do somehow mess with other competitors, you will be disqualified. And we do have logs that will be used to track everything. Another thing is don't delete the actual text file. You can write to it, but don't actually delete it, right? Just so that scoring engine still works properly, everything is normal. Oh, I didn't change the number. Anyways, resources. So some try hack me resources you can use would be in here. These are all hyperlinked to the actual machines. I highly recommend doing Kenobi for Windows. I think that one's pretty educational as a beginner level try hack me box. Nmap fundamentals is also really good. Anytime you're doing a pen testing or doing any kind of pen testing, you're going to be using Nmap to enumerate your services, machines, etc. 80 Basics and Windows Fundamentals is also really good, just because you actually learn how Active Directory works and how to defend against it. As for Hack the Box, Starting Point is a really good resource for beginners. Starting Point does Windows and Linux, but mostly Linux. Um, Another one is Code Part 2. I have not done that machine, so I don't know how good it actually is, but it is free and it has a high rating. 18 for Windows had a easy rating, but not a very high score, so I don't know how that goes. Responder from Starting Point is pretty good. I think it teaches a really interesting attack vector for Windows. And then if you have Hack the Box VIP, these are some other boxes that you may want to think about, especially Cicada for Windows. Cicada on Windows is really good. Some other resources you can use would be the NCAE Cyber Games videos. So those are videos that they tell you how to set up services, but also sometimes go into how to defend your services and also things you may want to consider. Things like cron job, rsync. Well, not really rsync, but in any case, how to like defend against yourself or defend against other people. Some things you might also want to look at would be the CPTC weeks. Um, Last year's were pretty good quality. I highly recommend the 2024 one for CPTC Windows. That was done by Dylan, who is basically my Windows Jesus. And then CPTC Linux for last week was pretty good as well, or last year. CCDC Linux 2025 is also pretty good. It goes into Linux fundamentals as well as things you may want to consider when defending on Linux. And again, we had the threat hunting last week. So doing the looking over the threat hunting slides definitely give you some insight into what you may want to consider when defending a Linux machine. And then finally, the CCDC Windows Week from this year. All of these are really good. I really do recommend that you go through these resources if you can. It is pretty extensive. Like, I think if you go through all of them, it's probably like, I don't know, 20 hours, maybe more. But these are definitely really good resources you can use if you want to learn how to attack and defend. They're not in order of like what is recommended, but just go through what you want, you know. Other than that, the rest of the day is just to practice Hack the Box, try Hack Me stuff. So feel free to go online, ask around for help, go work on the Hack the Box, try Hack Me stuff. And if you guys need help or need a nudge, feel free to tell me or ask me. I'll be more than willing to help you guys. The end.